Good afternoon, everyone. Heads of delegations and senior government officials, representatives of the United Nations and other intergovernmental organizations, representatives of NGOs and others here, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to deliver just a few opening remarks at the side events on climate and broader environmental monitoring to support early warning systems as a means of averting loss and damage and building resilience. This is a conversation that is increasingly critical as IPCC reports on climate projections and NDC at syntheses get more dire with each iteration, and promises of ambition and financing resilience continue largely unfulfilled. Let me begin though by expressing appreciation to the UN's Department of Economic and Social Affairs, and particularly their SDG division, for supporting and facilitating this space to highlight Caribbean experiences and requirements in building resilience. DESA has been and continues to be a key partner to CARICOM in such areas as digital development, the SIDS agenda, and of course, the Sustainable Development Goals. For a CARICOM region that is both seismically active and is subjected to increasing frequency and intensity of weather events brought on by climate change, there is an urgent need for accurate and timely information that can be used for informing, forecasting, early warning systems, modeling risk, and loss and damage projections. This work is a priority for all our member states. The future of Caribbean development must be risk-informed and planned with multiple, concurrent, and cascading hazards in mind. This is what we live with. Haiti and St. Vincent and the Grenadines can testify to the complexities of managing, as they did last year, COVID-19, hurricane season, and major geological disasters at the same time. The 6 CARICOM member states that experienced the major impact of late season weather events within the past 2 weeks, including 2 hurricanes, can testify to the urgency of being better able to predict and prepare for extreme weather events, and then adequately finance recovery from and rebuild with the necessary resilience to protect communities and allow a reasonably quick recovery and return to an acceptable level of normalcy. I was highly encouraged when the UN Secretary-General announced earlier this year a new initiative to support improvements in early warning systems globally. Last week, the World Meteorological Organization unveiled the action plan for the UN Global Early Warning Initiative for the implementation of climate adaptation. While this is very welcome, it is a bleak reminder that the world is failing to meet the targets to limit warming to 1.5 degrees. Yet we in CARICOM continue our relentless advocacy to deliver 1.5 despite the shrinking window, because this is what our citizens deserve. Since the 2017 hurricane season, we have become more acutely aware of the urgency of building resilience in every facet of development. The CARICOM 5-pillar resilience agenda, which has been endorsed by our heads of government, calls for social protection for the marginal and the most vulnerable, enhancing economic opportunity, safeguarding infrastructure, environmental protection, and operational readiness. To deliver, though, requires an international financial system that understands our complexities and our vulnerabilities and responds accordingly. This region requires financing that is scaled to address short, medium, and long-term responses to tackle climate change while continuing to build our resilience as a region. This should provide access by SIDS to increased liquidity, incorporate action to reduce debt levels and increase fiscal space, and facilitate access to new financial instruments and recovery packages that are compliant with the Paris Agreement. Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined online by a cadre of stalwarts from Caribbean regional institutions and member states to share their unique perspectives on the very real climate challenges as it relates to monitoring and tracking environmental cues to furnish decision makers and the general public with critical and timely information for averting disaster losses and coping with slow onset changes. We will hear today about the tremendous progress made over the years in delivering accurate early warning that permeates all of society, and especially including the most vulnerable. Likewise, we will hear about newer initiatives to provide key productive sectors with climate information for good planning and resilience building. It has been all hands on deck to set the groundwork for building resilience through the comprehensive disaster management strategy and other key regional strategies to allow social and productive sectors of our member states to advance development with multi-risk, multi-hazard risk in full view and taken into account. In this regard, I wish to applaud all of the regional institutions of CARICOM for their contributions to resilient development in member states and their active pursuit in building collaborations and enhancing coordination to deliver on the Global Development Agenda, the 2030 Agenda and its SDGs, the Samoa Pathway, the Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction, and the Paris Agreement. Conversations such as these are invaluable in shining light on the unique challenges of SIDS in averting loss and damage and providing early warning for every citizen. I hope that new partnerships can be forged and innovative solutions crafted and upscaled from this event. Thank you very much, and I will now give way to the moderator to kick off the conversation. Thank you very much.